Today I learned. England, 1943. A different fight raged below the battlefields. It wasn't fought with bombs or bullets but with shovels and pickaxes. 10% of Britain's conscripts weren't destined for the battlefields of Europe or the deserts of North Africa. Their battlefield was the dark depths of England's coal mines. These young men weren't miners by trade, but farmers and shopkeepers conscripted into a different kind of service. They became the Bevan Boys, named after Ernest Bevan, the labor minister behind this plan. Coal, the fuel that powered ships, factories, and furnaces, was the lifeblood of the war effort. And these boys, with raw hands and dust-choked lungs, were its unsung heroes. They worked in dangerous conditions, risking methane explosions and roof collapses in dark spaces deep underground. It wasn't glamorous, but it was crucial. Their coal kept factories running and battleships sailing, but their fight didn't end with the war. Many Bevan boys remained underground long after the last bullet flew. The final conscripts were not released from service until March 1948. Did you know? April 1925, New York City. Jazz fueled the speakeasies, and literary hopeful F. Scott Fitzgerald dreamt of Gatsby-esque riches with his new novel. The Great Gatsby, a roaring 20s epic of love, loss, and longing, hit the shelves, but its publication went unnoticed. Reviews were mixed, and sales dismal. The Roaring Twenties roared past, and Gatsby was forgotten. Few saw the brilliance beneath the flapper dresses and bootleg gin. Then a twist of fate, courtesy of World War II. Millions of American soldiers embarked on a different kind of adventure. With them, the U.S. government shipped over 120 million books to its troops overseas, and Gatsby snuck aboard. Under flickering lanterns, soldiers discovered the Great Gatsby. His yearning for the green light, his chasing a dream by any means necessary, became a relatable message. After the war, soldiers championed the novel. Fitzgerald's rediscovered novel returned from the literary graveyard. Bibliophiles embraced him, classrooms echoed with his name, and The Great Gatsby ascended to the rank of American classic. Did you know? November 1944. The Philippines. The sun beat down on a young Rod Serling, barely 20, and thrust into the chaos of war in the Pacific. The constant sight of death is having a profound impact on his writing, and a freak accident may have inspired his macabre vision for the Twilight Zone. While stationed on Leyte, Sterling and some friends rested under a palm tree. In the middle of their conversation, a crate of rations dropped from a plane and crushed his best friend in an instant. Back home, the pen became his weapon. He poured his fractured perspective onto paper. Clocks mocked time, walls whispered secrets, and airplanes became coffins. The Twilight Zone, a show where sanity and logic danced in tandem, was born. The Twilight Zone revealed the unsettling echoes of Sterling's dangerous brush with the absurd. From the ticking bomb in Time Enough at Last to the gremlin on the wing in Nightmare at 20,000 Feet, his stories echoed the irony he witnessed amidst the smoke and screams. Did you know? April 11, 1945. Off the coast of Okinawa, the roar of battle echoed across the Pacific as a lone Japanese kamikaze plane plunged toward the mighty USS Missouri. The impact was deafening, and flames engulfed the battleship's deck. In the aftermath, a chilling sight, the pilot's body amidst the wreckage. Fury gripped the American crew. This fallen enemy represented the horrors they had endured. But Captain William Callahan made a decision that defied the heat of the moment. He ordered a burial at sea, not with indifference but with respect. He told his crew that after death, he was a human being deserving of dignity. His plea resonated with a handful of sailors who hand-stitched a makeshift Japanese flag to symbolize respect for a life lost. The ceremony was simple. The flag draped the pilot as he was lowered into the ocean as a bugler played taps. In that moment, the USS Missouri, a symbol of American might, became a vessel of empathy. Did you know? 1943, Washington, D.C. The tide of World War II turned America's submarine fleet into silent predators, stalking Japanese shipping lanes. As depth charges fell, American subs were ghosts of the deep, seeming to vanish at will. This secret to victory rested on one crucial fact. Enemy sonar underestimated their maximum dive. Enter Congressman Andrew May, a well-meaning politician fueled by patriotic fervor. At a press conference, he declared, "They don't set their depth charges deep enough." His words, meant to boost morale, inadvertently torpedoed national security. The news reached Japanese ears, and the consequences were grim. Estimates whisper of 10 lost submarines and 800 brave souls lost at newfound depths. May, hailed as a hero, became a tragic pariah, forever haunted by the unintended consequences of his loose lips. The May incident serves as a chilling reminder of the weight of information. It forces us to grapple with the delicate balance between awareness and security. Did you know? 1940. Europe burns under Hitler's shadow, but the U.S. stands on the sidelines, public opinion firmly against getting involved in war. Enter two brave souls, Joe Simon and Jack Kirby, both Jewish men with more than just ink in their pens. They unleash a weapon unlike any other, Captain America #1. The cover was iconic, Cap's fist connecting with Hitler's jaw, a defiant punch heard around the newsstands. But the reaction wasn't all cheers. Death threats rained down on Simon and Kirby, their patriotism deemed too hot for a nation clinging to neutrality. In a gutsy move, New York's Mayor Fiorello LaGuardia, a fan of the Star-Spangled Hero himself, declared Cap's creators under city protection, sending a clear message: fighting for what's right, even when it's unpopular, deserves backing. Captain America's debut may have been controversial, but it planted a seed. Although Cap may have thrown the first punch, it was LaGuardia's shield that protected the artists who dared to imagine a world where America stood against evil. Did you know? A Japanese general, released from prison after serving a decade for war crimes, built a replica of his prison cell after his release, where he would remain until his death. That's the story of Hitoshi Imamura, whose role in the brutal occupation of Indonesia during World War II left an indelible mark on his conscience. After facing accountability in a post-war tribunal, Imamura was sentenced to 10 years of confinement for his war crimes. However, he felt the sentence was too light. After his release, he extended his sentence by constructing a replica of his prison cell in his home. For the remaining 21 years of his life, Imamura inhabited this stark, self-made cage, surrounded by his former prison belongings. The continued punishment served as a reminder of the suffering he inflicted. Some viewed Imamura's self-imposed imprisonment with skepticism, questioning its sincerity. Yet, others recognized it as a genuine way of grappling with his war crimes and seeking redemption. He chose to confront his past head-on, ultimately choosing self-imposed confinement as a testament to his remorse. Did you know? In 1943, World War II was still raging, but whispers of a post-war future were buzzing. President Franklin D. Roosevelt had a grand vision for a reshaped future: the four policemen. Roosevelt envisioned a global security force led by the four most powerful wartime allies: the United States, the Soviet Union, China, and Great Britain. These four superpowers would act as the world's law enforcers, preventing future conflicts through collective action. The idea was bold, bordering on utopian. Roosevelt believed the horrors of war could forge a new era of international cooperation. The four policemen were to be the architects of this new world order. But beneath the idealistic surface, darker currents swirled. The Soviet Union eyed the plan with suspicion, concerned about a Western-dominated world order. Britain, battered by war, saw opportunities and limitations. And China, still embroiled in its own internal struggles, remained an uncertain player on the global stage. FDR's dream ultimately dissolved in the Cold War. The United Nations, established in 1945, inherited the mantle of global peacekeeper. Did you know? Today I learned that beyond Casablanca's smoky cafes, Humphrey Bogart, Hollywood's silver screen icon, nurtured a surprising passion: chess. But his love for the game took an unexpected turn during World War II when his innocent moves across the board landed him in the sights of the FBI. Bogart's passion for chess wasn't just a solitary pastime. It became a bridge connecting him with soldiers stationed overseas through correspondence matches. In 1943, however, this heartwarming hobby took a detour into the realm of wartime paranoia. The FBI, tasked with sniffing out enemy plots, intercepted Bogart's mail. But instead of seeing chess moves, they saw secret codes and suspected covert messages to enemy agents. Bogart, summoned by the G-Men, explained his passion for the game and the joy it brought to soldiers. The feds eventually saw the light and dropped the case. So, the next time you raise a glass to Rick Blaine, remember, he wasn't just a master of witty banter. He was also a king of the chessboard, whose moves once outsmarted even the FBI. Did you know? The familiar melody of "I'll Be Home for Christmas" fills the air every December with its promise of family reunions and holiday cheer. But for those who lived through World War II, the song carried a deeper meaning of longing and heartbreak. The lyrics are sung from the point of view of a soldier stationed overseas, writing a letter to his family. He tells his family he will be coming home for Christmas and makes several requests. However, the song ends on a somber note, with the soldier's last line: "I'll be home for Christmas, if only in my dreams." Released in 1943, the song resonated with millions of soldiers serving in World War II. It became their anthem, a shared voice for the unspoken ache of missing home during the holidays. The upbeat melody carried a bittersweet message: hope, even in the face of impossible odds. Today, "I'll Be Home for Christmas" has become a holiday staple. Did you know?